It's only a matter of time, right? It's only a matter of time. And the reason why that saying I feel like is so renowned, it's just so, it settles everything. It's like, it's a top five, easily top five saying. When you say things like it's only a matter of time, you just need patience, right? You literally need practical patience. And a lot of the suffering I feel like that we have nowadays just comes from a stemming of how can I get what I is that I want right now? How can I feel that dopamine right now? And I'm here to tell you that any system, any program, any coaching, any framework that promises you some sort of satisfactory dopamine in a specific time span is just lying to you. And they're lying to you because when they can seem time as something that can be absolved and packaged and purchased and then given to somebody else and given to you, you start looking at that like, oh shit, right? That's a lot of what sales is on a practical sense. You're trying to save people time, which saves people money. And if people have more money, they can do whatever it is they want, right? Common sense. I'm not saying anything profound there, but I think sometimes we get so enamored by the product of what is actually being sold than the value of what somebody is trying to sell you, right? And just on a personal note, I'm slimming down for the first time in like 2 3 years, and I'm doing so in a way that I've never done. I've never cut this way before. Like I've been somewhat lean and whatever, but I never leaned out like lifting weights heavy, doing cardio. I've never really been so consistent on top of everything, still training hard with this much volume. There's a lot of variables that I've never had the opportunity to really go ahead and face this time around that I'm getting to do for the very first time. And lo and behold, guess what? It's difficult. And a part of me just wants to get to the end. Like, I just want to get to that finish line. I want to get to that point where, sorry guys, this thing is really like not focused. There you go. I think. Can you let me just leave it like that, yeah. Anyways, I want to get to the end. And I want to get to that finish line point, and I want that so bad. like I feel like if I could just flick a switch or turn on a light switch, I would just do that. But that's also like the part of me that I know I'm not supposed to do that. There is something that throughout this process that I need to understand, right? And you probably do as well. And that's probably why you are watching this video, is because there's a part of you that knows that throughout a certain part of the process of something that you really want, it starts to get really fucking hard. These things don't get easier. Well, they do eventually, but I'll get to that in a moment. They do get easier, but not because the system or the process gets easier. It's because you just get more used to it. It's just a natural adaptation that starts to become a part of you, right? And once that becomes a part of you, then you need another resistance. This is why you see people who create like very successful companies, or they'll sell very successful companies. There's that one guy, the CEO of something, he sold it for like hundreds of millions of dollars. And he's miserable now. Like he's so miserable to the point that he just started another startup. Because when you reach the end goal, it's like what am I grinding for? What is there to work for, you know? Like there's no there's no means to an end. And that's kind of the contrast of all this. We complain about not being where we want to be, and then when we get there, we complain about not having something to work for. It's like a revolving door that never ends. And so I question sometimes, like, you know, even in my like deepest thoughts of the day, where I'm reflecting and I'm thinking like, man, I'm really putting my chips all into this in a space to where it's saturated. People call it saturated, where there's millions of people competing for the same thing, where there's so many people that have all these orthodox, unorthodox methods of trying to help people, assist people in this way. And I don't think that I have the magical gift, magical answer, right? But I'm somebody that it really takes me time to understand what's happening with something. Like I'm not really naturally gifted at many things. But the gift that I do have is being able to just press the button over and over and study patterns extremely well. And if you give me enough iterations, if you give me enough chances, if you give me enough opportunities, I start to see where the gaps and the cracks are and I exploit them. And chances are, if you're watching a video that doesn't take 30 seconds to watch and you're watching a full length YouTube video, you do as well, right? In that same pocket of understanding that about myself, I understand whenever things get difficult and I'm like, damn, all right, this is where the road meets the rubber, the grinding gets tougher. And I just sit back and I'm just like, well, here we are. Like here we are, like in the middle of the battlefield. Jon Snow, snoring, sword in hand, with the entire army just marching at you. What are you gonna do? It's like there's nothing else you can do but hold up your sword, man. You know. And whether or not you choose to pursue what it is that you want, it's only a matter of time. Right? It's only a matter of time before it happens, or you realize that it's it's not going to happen on your own timing. On the flip side, it's only a matter of time before you realize you've wasted all this time. You've wasted the opportunity that of the chances of the time that you overall had. And now you're kind of sitting back like, shit. you know, all those guys that you saw that were putting in the work week after week, going to the gym, making those sacrifices, as corny as it sounds, as corny as those like, oh, grind mode, grind set guys, and they make the gym, and all these things, they're sanctuaries. I understand it at the core, right? Like I'm like, but I also understand that they actually have more to benefit. These people have more to benefit. Anytime people sacrifice, and let me stop right there because shout out to Protein Rich, but he we were talking on live one time and he was talking about a couple topics, man. And he's a good guy. He has a lot of philosophy, a lot of years of experience. And one of the things that we were talking about, he's like, I don't understand why people call it a sacrifice. It's a commitment. Like, how are you sacrificing something that you're committed to, right? Like, is it really a sacrifice if this is more important to you? Because when you call it a sacrifice, that means that you're gonna have ultimate resentment for what it is that you're committing to without you even realizing it. You're signing a certain part of that contract and saying it's the fine line there that you're putting your initials on, and you're not even realizing that. So then when it comes down to your commitment, you look back and you're like, it's almost like you have anticipated disappointment on purpose. Because when you get to that point, you're going to be looking around like, damn, but look at everything that I sacrificed and I missed out on, and this thing wasn't really all that I hyped up to be. It's because you're looking at it, these things like these things are worth more to you, or worth more to you than this thing, but I'm going to actually place more artificial value on my commitment than I am my actual these sacrifices. This is why I've eliminated calling things, oh, I'm sacrificing my time that I could be doing this to do that. No, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to the process. There is no sacrifice. That doesn't exist, right? So as you go along, as you trek this journey, it's only a matter of time. But you gotta give time to invest into something. You can literally change your life in 6 months. It's like J. Cole says, keep grinding, boy, your life can change in 1 year. And even when it's dark out, the sun is shining somewhere. Shout out to shout out to y'all J. Cole listeners. But man, that philosophy is honestly the fuel of what keeps me going. I think that the true black pill is that there is no black pill, right? And that's the scariest shit to realize, that there is no actual excuse for you to hang on to, regardless of looks or life circumstances at times, because there's no magic switch that you can hit that's going to make you the son or daughter of an orthopedic surgeon from a white background that's had everything handed to them. Sorry, it's not how life works. And you investing that emotional energy to spite that, or to constantly drain your emotional energy to not empower your own self to become that orthopedic surgeon that that family has, and has placed them in a better privileged position, and you're kind of just wasting that energy willowing and wallowing. Let me tell you, dude, emotional energy is so powerful. It's one of the most transmutable energy sources everywhere. You cannot do without using it. If you are going through something very emotionally heavy, has a lot of weight on you, do not willow, wallow, and rot. Use this time, use this emotional energy to create something from it. A lot of you guys don't realize how quickly away you are from changing your whole entire fucking life. Like I don't I it's so crazy to me. Guys, every time I'm gonna get a little bit like surface level, but every time I say like stories about this, my opportunities with, people of the opposite sex, anytime it came to interviews, opportunities for jobs, anytime it came to being able to speak amongst in a room and present myself to new people, I started to have additional opportunities brought to me because my stature, my posture, people can see that you're physically disciplined, right? They see muscles on your body. So they know that, okay, you don't have to be like Latin man syndrome walking around a room. You don't have to be that guy, right? But my point is there people can still see that you put effort into what it is, like your image, your overall self. And, may it be subconscious programming or conscious programming, whatever, by the powers that be, and there is like an image thing at play that can give you a boost, right? That's why we got these guys talking about fake naturals. But let me tell you something, you know, a lot of people can get ahead in ways that me and you will never know. We will never know how this guy has this car, this guy has these muscles, this guy has whatever. You shouldn't care about that. And the reason why you shouldn't care about that is because you have no idea what it took for that person to get where they are, whether illegitimate or non legitimate, doesn't matter. Because as soon as you take the focus of that energy off of yourself, you putting it into somebody else, you might as well start. If you had like a fuel tank, you might as well start like plugging holes into it and watching it leak out, because that's what you're literally doing. So you have to separate the feeling of being envious versus feeling inspired, right? And I've been doing fitness, I've been doing lifting for quite some time now. But to be completely honest, right? This is my first time getting into, I know is going to be the best shape of my life. And if you guys are watching still throughout the end of this, just understand that I'm putting this out there as a means of testament to show you guys that it can be done for you as well, right? I really like who I've become mentally. I I have, just different things that I'm so insecure about, inadequacies, more so about how I deal with things in my personal life than I really have with my looks at this point, even though like everybody has those things, but it's kind of things that you just, hey, it is what it is. Like you just kind of overall accept them. Point is, um, if you're not somebody who is like you don't even like you're not even there at all, bro, you gotta start changing your identity. You gotta start changing your mindset. You gotta start thinking about who it is that you want to become. And I'll be the first to say it. As long as you're willing to try to become that person, you can get there. I have seen people come up to me, not come up to me, but I have had people that I've known in high school pull me to the side in certain rooms. Dude, like you are like you genuinely became somebody entirely different in front of my eyes. Like you really stuck to what you know, and like you really grinded. You didn't care about what anybody else thought. You really just did your own thing, and it really panned out for you. Hearing something like that, it's one thing to feel it and to see it, and then it's another thing for somebody else to tell you that. And man, you'll never forget the hearing things like that. It does bring your ego up a little bit, right? It gives you that like, damn, yeah, like I feel like the shit, but it just put things into perspective. And I promise you guys, the first step to doing that is going to be through getting jacked, you know, getting jacked for that first time, getting that body identity that the average person just doesn't have because they're just not going to be committed, right? It's only a matter of time. Guys, this has been an interesting one. Your boy Manaya here, signing out. If you guys are interested in how to change your mindset, how to change your identity, and overall how to change your physical image so that all these three things are in unison to give you a more empowering, fruitful life, hit me up, book a time. Let's talk, guys. I'll see y'all. Peace.